Hello, everybody. I am SunPsychic Jean, and look who I have with me here today, Priscilla from the Crone Zone, and Heather will be joining us shortly. And I just wanted to say happy Friday to everybody. I have been on all day, and I haven't yet said happy Friday to you.
You've been on all day? Oh my
I had a
goodness.
show with Ginny earlier today, and then I had the psychic triad after that, and now this is going to be an
I love it.
amazing show because I'm all tuned up, tuned in, and here she is. I'll
Oh,
wait
good.
till you come back, Heather. Well, she's coming back. I'll let her come back. So I think I'm just going to switch it around like this to make it
Thank
balanced
you.
for some reason. Look, Debbie Kane is here. You know we get a lot more West Coasters with the later we go on
I
at
know.
night for sure. And
Hey, Heather.
hi Heather.
Hey, sorry. I went to go on and I was in the wrong one. I'm going, okay, well, now what?
That was my fault. And you guys, these technical difficulties, it happens to the best of us.
It
It
does.
certainly does.
All the
And no
time.
matter how hard we try and we focus and we concentrate and it just happens. And
It does.
so I appreciate your patience and your perseverance with me for sure.
So sorry
Um,
I'm late.
no, not at all. Not at all. We were just chatting and saying hello to everybody. Oh,
There's
look, Ginny.
Jenny.
Ginny is here. And
Hey, love.
Ginny and I had an amazing show together. It was
Jenny and I had an amazing practice together yesterday. It was really amazing. She's
she
fantastic.
She really is.
Is a
She
man.
really is. She's
It
very
just
magical. Mhm.
just instantaneous. The
We
stuff
got
starts flying.
And Miss Oil Painter Diana is
Hi,
here.
I know
Diana.
she just texted me and said, where are you guys? And I'm going, you're looking for the wrong place.
Right.
So we are simulcasting on the Crone Zone. And if anybody is here watching us on the Sun Psychic Jean channel, please do go on over and like, share, and subscribe onto the Crone Zone. And all of the links for their channel are below. And please do. You won't be sorry that you did. Oh, look, everybody is simulcasting. Thank you, everybody, for doing that.
You guys are
Um,
awesome.
mhm.
I love it. Thank you.
Jennifer is here, Rooted Willow, Jackie Cirillo, Miss Sherlock, let me see who's here.
Bunch
An
of
invisible friend.
I love that
Oh,
name. I love that
I
that
like
name.
it too. Yeah.
yeah. It's sort of like what we had when we were kids, right? An
Mhm.
invisible friend.
Yeah.
Hmm. And
I
Diane
didn't
G
have
is
one, but my older sister had one, and her name was Murdy Sissa. I don't know where that name came from, but her name was Murdy Sissa, and that name always fascinated me.
Was that,
it
I
is.
wanted an invisible friend, and I didn't get one.
oh, I never called anybody by an invisible friend name. I
Hey,
just talked.
strawberry rhubarb.
I just talked to whoever was there and then they were there. But I think it was just later on I learned it was one of my guides always because I was always walking from school by myself. And so I was always talking to somebody.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. So Jennifer is here, and Sharon Strawberry Rhubarb is here. Thanks for coming. Diane G and Amy
Wow.
Harris. Everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. Well, today
I didn't get to
we're
say hi to Debbie Kane. I haven't seen her in a while, so it's nice to see her.
Yes.
okay. Good. I thought I'm not on this late at night, and I mean in case anybody doesn't know, I'm on the East Coast. And you guys are like, what is she talking about late at night? And it's really not. But when it gets dark, I just say it's late at night. If it's dark, it's not.
Well,
It's
that's
only
because we shut
6:30.
down as soon as it gets dark.
It's
It's
getting
like,
that way. I was just
okay,
looking
I'm
at
done.
the windows. It's getting dark. But then again, it's supposed to start snowing tonight and continue snowing until Sunday night. So just
Oh,
have
I
to wait.
packed in
wow.
wood, prepared meals from Whole Foods today. They have pinyon wood, and pinyon wood reminds me of New Mexico. I love the smell of pinyon wood. And they have bundles of it outside Whole Foods. So I was like, you know what? We're going to have really freezing cold temperatures and snow. So I I went to take my dog to the groomer and stopped in at Whole Foods and picked up more wood. So I've got all these stacks of wood. And plenty of prepared meals. It was
And
brilliant.
I have, well, I usually prepare my own. They're all in the freezer in the little containers, and I picked up more water because somebody was telling me you don't have enough stored in your refrigerator, get more. So I ordered one. I said, is that enough? No. I said, so I got two.
Wow.
So
You know what? I just got 6 big 5-gallon things of water.
Yeah.
Because I was being guided to kind of stock up. I don't know why. I just think that 25 is going to be a roller coaster year, and we're going to have some shortages. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I have plenty of food. I even have for an apartment a heater that runs on like those camping little bottles. And
Mhm.
each bottle runs for 8 hours. I said, that's okay. It'll take care of the night because I have so much sun coming in. Unless there's no sun, then I'm going to have more.
Have you been getting anything like that, Jean? Have you been getting anything about prepping in your messages at all?
I have not. I'm in a little bit different
Interesting.
of a situation though. I see strawberry rhubarb says nice sunny on the west coast at 3:36 p.m. and she noticed that the days are indeed getting longer. Yeah, you see this light here, I have it on a timer and I've changed it to a 5 p.m. to click on. And then I change it like every hour. I don't do it every,
Wow.
but I did. So it used to go off at like 4:15 for a while there, and now I've changed it to 5 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna get the freezing weather because where you live until what, Sunday or Monday?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they changed well, yeah, it's gonna be here, before you know it, that's for sure, but, it's, it I
I
just
love it.
I feel like we're coming out of that, it's when you're going into it in December, if you have a lot of snow and a lot of cold days that you were like, "Oh my gosh, how long is this gonna last?" But, I did hear a while back, somebody, I don't know if it was an astrologer or if it was a weather forecaster, but they said that winter this year will be front loaded, that we'll have some intense, very cold, lot of snow events earlier in the season, yet later in the season, it'll be more mild with, just colder temperatures and
Okay.
wind and stuff, but not too much messy stuff.
We
So,
usually
um,
get cold our bad weather is February,
Yeah.
usually late January, early February, and that was how it was in Texas too, because the stock show in Fort Worth
Hush.
was always that last weekend in January, and there were always freezing, horrible weather for stock show. Right, Heather? Always stock show
Oh,
had bad.
yeah. I got some hand warmers for my son in law. He forgot to take them today because he works the stock show every year. He's one of those vendors that walks up and down
Yeah.
with stuff. So he's always
Is
out.
the stock show in Denver right now?
Yes, it just started. So it started just in time for this cold.
I know you Yankees don't know what stock shows are, but they're just big rodeos, big fancy rodeos, and they have music, intermissions and stuff like that. And
It's a
being
big
born in
party for a
Texas, I
week.
was raised on the rodeo, stock show and rodeo.
Yeah,
They grade stock the kids have raised, and they raise a ton of money
4-H.
for the 4-H kids do that.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
yeah.
wonderful.
It's just
Wonderful.
a
That
great
sounds
big
like a lot
party.
of fun.
It
Yeah,
is.
it is a big party.
Um, Back when I was single, I was on a business trip and we went to Dallas and they took us to a dude ranch. And I'm telling you, they brought out all the bells and whistles. They gave us all straw hats. They gave us bandanas and they showed us all the tricks that they do. And we're like, is that a real cowboy? They knew we were coming. I was originally from Philadelphia. And they're like, these Yankees are coming in to see us, but it was very magical and very heartwarming, very warming.
It's where I learned how
Uh,
to do this two-step. My older sister, 9 years older, we used to go to the Roundup Inn after the rodeo and dance with all the cowboys. And every year we would get fancy new boots, fancy clothes that we never wore except for that 1, 2 weeks of the rodeo. Hi, Amy. I'm from Fort Worth, but I actually had a ranch in Springtown that I sold in, I don't know, 2000. 22,
She's
I
right
think.
down the road from the stock show in Fort Worth. I guess
Yeah.
it's just like a
Well,
traveling thing.
It's a what do you call it? A series of different rodeos around the country. It's Houston, Dallas,
And they
Denver.
travel.
Denver, and I don't know where else.
Don't they go up into Wyoming for Wyoming
know.
days type things?
Yeah, Houston.
And Jackie Cirillo says, I was raised at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Now my 3 granddaughters are showing their heifers and steer there.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
mean,
fun
it's
to watch.
amazing for kids. And there's usually like a geez, what do you call it? With the roller coasters and stuff like that, that's always attached to it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
A what are those called?
Fair
amusement park?
Fairs. It's like an amusement park they built. They
Mhm.
built it for during the
Carnival.
rodeo, and you get fried corn and all that kind of stuff. Lived in Azle. Oh my God.
And in Springtown, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lived there.
That's where we lived before we moved to Key West.
Carnival rides, exactly.
Carnival. Thank you. I don't.
Roundup is big here in Pendleton. It's the largest outdoor rodeo with a grass arena. Things get a little wild.
Ooh, wow. How
Oh
fun.
yeah, and at the Kansas State Fair, there are during the day it's rodeo, and during the night they have name entertainers come in.
Oh,
But during the
That'd be
day,
cool.
most of it's rodeo.
It was Miss Sherlock. It was a whole lot of fun. My sister taught me would drive. I was her mini me, and she had to babysit me because she was the oldest, and my mother would take care of the youngest.
You got to
And
know there
so
were 5
I got
kids.
to go all kinds of great places, and that's where I learned how to two-step.
can you 2-step now today?
Absolutely not.
I
Absolutely
can
not.
still do it, but it takes me a while to get back
Yeah,
into
I
it.
think it would if I had a good partner to lead, that I would
You
pick
get
it up
into it right
quick.
away.
'Cause it's all about
Is it like a
who's
line
leading.
dance that they do at weddings and stuff? I think the Macarena or whatever is it's
Mm-mm.
not a line dance where you go 1, 2, 3 and then you hop.
They
No?
started that many years later. I've
Okay.
never done line dancing.
No, the two-step is it's a couple dance,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
Almost like a waltz. It's
okay.
almost like a waltz.
it's a 3-step type thing.
I took ballroom dancing. It was like everybody in my 5th or 6th grade class. It was
Yeah.
like the first time we ever had to dance with boys. It was hilarious. Everybody was like, "Ooh," and they always stood on the opposite sides of the room. I mean, it was literally the 1950s, so it was, it was
And
like
that's
everybody
how
in my class, we all took ballroom dancing together in the evening.
and that was her in Texas. I grew up in New Jersey, and they actually had to pay for it because it was the ladies' club that was teaching the etiquette for dancing and ballroom dancing,
Oh, I
and
love it.
you had to be appropriately dressed.
Oh,
And
yes.
they had refreshments, and you had to sit poised in a certain position,
Yep.
and you had to hold your cups and your
Yep.
clears. You learned all the etiquette that went with it. So
You're right. We need a couple dancing again. It's wonderful.
well, I took ballroom dancing when I was in Texas because it was a way. Dancing has always must have brought my frequencies up because I've always loved it, and everybody's always said I smile completely differently when I'm dancing.
Isn't that
I'm sure.
interesting?
So
Oh,
it
oh,
was always
so
so much fun.
so sweet, so sweet. Well, what a beautiful, spontaneous image and idea. I love the spontaneous, and it's these things that it's important for us to focus on the silver lining, the joy in life, the communication and the relationships that we build with one another, and um, all of the connections that we have to continue on and to persevere and keep your focus on the bright side for sure. And there's it's not as easy as we would have hoped or wished, but I really do feel like there's something wonderful going to be coming from this this year of ups and downs that we're going to be facing. So
I do
I just,
too. I feel excitement. I feel joy. I feel excitement. I know it's going to be a bloody mess, but why do I feel happy? I don't get it, but I know something
We're
good's
above
coming.
it.
It's
Did you
like
see
the
what?
last of the really bad crap gets exposed and everything blows up, and then rebuilding starts, and we're all in a higher excitement, higher frequency.
And
More
I'm looking really,
communication.
really, really looking forward to that because this year's Christmas season, everybody's so down. Nobody wanted to decorate. And
I
it was
agree.
it was so obvious, at least in the apartment building, it was so obvious that everybody was so down. I mean, that's why I gave everybody on the floor a package of cookies, all
You're
sorts of.
the best with your cookies, girl.
But the thing is, I thought, well, at least they'll smile when they see them, which
Yep.
may be the only smile they had. I was the only one on the floor that put any Christmas decorations on the door. And last year, they were all over the place. But this year,
Well,
no,
that's interesting.
yeah.
Well, the sky, is the astrology of the times is rough right now. It's super rough, and the everything my guides tell me is stay positive, stay focused on your growth,
Mhm.
your spiritual growth, and ignore all the chaos. It's not your timeline, and that's my new mantra. That's not my timeline. That's that's not my reality, and it makes me laugh to think that, which I think brings my vibration up and keeps me more positive. So yeah,
And I was reading Miss Sherlock's about none of her dates knew. Well, my older brother and I were in Civil Air Patrol. That was search and rescue, civilian search and rescue if a plane went down on the East Coast. And we would have a Christmas dance. And he and I both had the same problem. Nobody else knew how to dance. He and I would get out and dance and show everybody else what to do. Nobody else would get on the floor once we got on the floor, but nobody knew how to dance. And she's right. Nobody else knew.
wow.
it's a
So
Well,
different
I
world.
say let's bring it back, right?
yeah, let's bring it back.
So along these lines, I have a couple of conversation starters here, and it says, "This, my dear, is the greatest challenge of being alive, to witness the injustice of this world and not allow it to consume our light." And this is an ancient. This is a it stands the test of time. This is not
Yeah,
the only time that humanity has had challenges and um, uh, you know
Chaos.
difficulties and things to overcome. But each time we have this sort of global
unrest.
catastrophe, let's just call it what it is,
Yeah,
and we all persevere, we all raise up, we all, nobody would ever wish this. We all would have rather not had to go uh, evolved in this way. We would have preferred to evolve in a
Yes,
much
okay.
more easier way, or a more gentle way. But I know that what is capable, what is going to be birthed, what is going to be developed and revealed and created from all of this is going to be so much better than if we would have kept going along. I
I
feel like
agree.
it's just going to accelerate all of the inventions, all of the spontaneous new ways of society.
I agree with you
Yeah.
100%.
And my daughter came down to talk one day and she was complaining about all these things and all these different ideas of how it should be. And I gave her a journal, said, write them down. Have the answers when somebody asks you. Write down what needs to be done. Write down the way it should be. That it is a human right to have a place to sleep that has a roof over your head. Write everything down.
Unconditional love and unity consciousness. That's
Exactly.
freedom for everybody. Everybody has a seat at the table. And it's going to get there. It's going to take a while. And you guys, it's us that are the way showers, that we're the ones that have to keep the light on for everybody else. That's why we're here.
And do write down your thoughts of what you think it should be, because somebody's going to ask and you'll have the answers for them.
Well, not
Instead of
only
trying to
that,
think of them every time, somebody's going to say, well, what are we going to do? And you're going to say, you're going to do this.
but not only that, that's intention, and she's putting it out into the
Mhm.
universe. This is a way for a better life. This is what I want in my life. Food, shelter, entertainment for everybody.
Yeah,
Justice for everybody. You put that out there in the ether. That's what we need to be doing.
Mhm.
Sending our love energy, sending all that out with the love in our heart. That's what I believe, and that's the way that we're gonna change the world.
Exactly.
But it has
You
to
know,
come from within. It's not anybody out there.
and we all can do this. We all know this. We all realize that, not that we're preaching, but preaching to the choir, that we all are aware of this. But it's really important for me to be reminded
Me
myself.
too.
And it's every day when I bring through your loved ones, messages from your loved ones, and how much they reiterate that it's not the car in the driveway, it's not the money in the bank account, it's not how big the house is, it's how much they love you and how much we help each other when we're here born. The reason why we incarnate is to be of service to others, to assist
Absolutely.
others in their journey and their spiritual growth. And if we can find one thing to be of service, even if we just watch somebody's kids or just be of service, it is a purposeful and a rewarding gesture, even though we do other things that we may enjoy for ourselves. But as long as we're being in service to someone else, I think is really important. And it's a good example to set. What do you ladies think about that?
I
I
think
agree
we
with
lean by doing.
And I think that's what all of us are trying to do, is be of service to others by
Mhm.
helping them keep their light shining, by them knowing that we have issues with what's going on, and we have our days where we're not 100%, and everybody does. And they're not the only ones. And it really has helped me. This fall was tough for me. And it's basically my YouTube community that got me through, the people that I've met through YouTube, and practice groups. We have these development groups that we all attend once or twice, 2 or 3 times a week, whatever it is. And being with like-minded people helps keep your vibe elevated, because I don't know about you, but my family's not awake. They may be starting to awake, but they're certainly not awake, and they think that, yeah, Gammy. It's just
We know
Gammy.
you're nuts, but as long as you don't help and don't hurt anybody, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So Debbie Kane says that she's been thinking along these lines too.
Mhm.
And
Good.
Linda Davies says, you ladies and others like you are one of the reasons my light continues to shine. Yeah, we're here together. I mean, you
We're
are.
all in this together, and I just think this YouTube community is getting so big and spreading out so much love and light on the planet. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
I love this community. It has kept me going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's a blessing for sure. So the next one I have here is, I'm trying to make it bigger. What you love, you empower. What you fear, you empower. What you empower, you attract.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
focus on what you want, not what you don't want. That's what
Yeah,
Ellen
because
always
it's where
says.
your focus is what you get, whether it's negative or positive. What you don't want or what you do want, it's coming at you, because that's just the way it works. So,
That's
for God's
right.
sake, focus on what you want, not what you don't want. And
And
humans focus on what they don't want. They always focus on the negative. You have to actually retrain yourself to focus on what you do want, and just ignore all that little shit on the side.
and it's not just the big things. I've told the story before about how my stepsons would come upstairs being grumpy for the bus. And when they were that grumpy, I'd send them back downstairs. I said, lay down on your bed, get up on the other side. They thought it was
That's hilarious.
But when they came up, they were in a good mood because they thought it was so ridiculous and their whole day went better. So it's not just the big things that you need to make sure that you keep.
Oh, I think it's more like the little things, like
Mhm.
the self-talk that you do.
Yeah.
"Dang, you're dumb," or "Why the hell did I do that?" Or, you know, just negative self-talk. If we can change that into, "Wow, I did fantastic today. I fed the dog," or "I walked up 20
Or
steps," or
I just
just
learned another
little
way not
things.
to do it.
Do the little things, and it gets easier to do the bigger things. It was like, when we first learned the most benevolent outcome and how the first thing you did was try it on parking spaces, and you'd be like, "Holy crap.
It
I
works.
get front door parking no matter where I go these days. All I do is ask my guides for the most benevolent outcome." Well, why doesn't that work for everything? It
And
does.
and that has worked forever because even when my dad was alive and we were kids, he would always drive to the front of wherever he wanted to go, and there was always a parking place there. And we asked him about it, and he says, "There's always a place for me." He just assumed it would be there, and it
And
always
it was
was.
there.
It was always there. And it's not new age. This has been forever.
It's just
But he's been gone more
the
than
law of
20,
attraction's
25
all it
years.
is.
And when I was a kid, he would say things like that. And this was not a spiritual man.
Wow.
But it's
Wow.
true. What you believe is what you manifest.
Mhm.
So
Whether it's
Sharon says she has a great parking angel too.
Yeah.
And Lisa said, until around April, I had no idea a community like this even existed. She's extremely grateful that she found all of you people. And I mean, the people in the chats are amazing and supportive too.
absolutely. Oh,
It's really a beautiful format and just community that has been created. And here's Wisdom Seeker Joan. She goes, I love you three in this community too.
We love you too.
we definitely love you too.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. I can't even. It's hard to trace back where it all began. But I know Sharon, you were one of the first ones out there that
Yeah,
I was watching, and you guys were
me
talking
too.
about this. Hmm. Yep, absolutely, and yep, that was way back in the beginning. So
When did we
I
start
have.
watching, Heather? 2020? I think that's when we started watching YouTube. 2021, my guides were get on YouTube, get on YouTube, get on YouTube. I'm like, I don't understand YouTube. I don't want to do that.
she fought doing what we're doing now, tooth and nail. I mean, her heels were dug in, and you had to drag her there.
Oh,
But when you
you cried the first like 5 or 6 shows. You would just
Exactly.
you would
That's
cry.
what I was
You would
there for. Hold her hand so she
She
would see.
would cry before and cry after and saying, I don't know why I'm doing this. This is ridiculous. What is wrong with me? And
But
she would
you
just sit
enjoyed
there and
it.
cry.
I was so emotional about it. It was such a release once we finally did it.
Yeah.
But as far as manifesting, what happened when I finally decided, okay, I'll do it. Heather and I were in Sedona, and I just said, fine, I'll do it. But you have to bring me the F experts because I know nothing about how to work all the electronics and stuff. I've been retired for years. I was only playing on the computer. I wasn't doing anything on the computer. And I bet it wasn't 2 weeks later that our producer showed up, that Heather and I just met him in a restaurant by accident and became fast friends, and before we knew it, they created the whole thing for us. We met him, I think, in October, and in February 22, we started our channel.
And talk
So
about qualified.
He's
Jeez.
won 6 Emmys for news production.
7. He won one last year.
Yeah, but I think it was 5 and this was 6.
Oh,
Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know.
I don't know. And
But
and his friend who was helping us is such a techie. Just a little bit too much techie for us, but such a techie.
yeah, we actually backed off and we started using StreamYard thanks to you, which is so much easier than this crazy techie software we
Top
were
of the
using
line
but
software
before.
stuff that was really hard to do.
Yeah, it
I
was a
think
nightmare.
I think we are perhaps in a similar, not exactly, but you could call it, you know, how devastated and tragic the whole incident was with COVID, and
Oh,
how
yeah.
everybody, we didn't even know if we were all going to be wiped off the planet or not. I mean,
No
we just
idea.
had no idea. And how much that threw us and shifted us, and what wonderful, beautiful things have come from that. I'm just asking
That
everybody to
horror.
try and keep that in mind, that no matter how difficult, no matter how tragic, no matter how catastrophic or chaotic it may become, understand that there are beautiful new manifestations and creations and developments that are going to come from this.
Mhm.
I know that for sure. And
I
I
agree.
do feel we're going to be elevated with our awareness and with our connections, with our abilities as well. I mean, it's really important to try and look at the bright side, look at the silver lining, and have that hope and say, you know, if we could get through that. I mean, I just thought the people I was just going to watch everybody perish around me. I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah,
Who
none of
knew?
us knew.
One
We were
one of
terrified.
one of the things that it made us do that we hadn't done is it made us slow down and take a look at ourselves,
Go
our
within.
family members, other people around us. It made us stop and
Mhm.
actually see.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that we can't let go of. We can't get so busy that we forget to see what's going on around us and the
And we'll
people.
be reminded, I think, again and again. But let me just bring this up. I wanted to maybe, I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger so that we can read it, and then I'll show you the picture. It says, relax. When you try to control everything, you enjoy nothing. Trust and the wait and embrace the uncertainty. When nothing is certain, anything is possible. Feel the power that comes from focusing on how you want to feel, and let the universe fill in the details. And at this point, and more than any other point, this is so important for us to trust the wait and embrace the uncertainty. And this is what a lot of people ask. Oh, you know, and I understand. They say, what's coming up in my, oh, sorry, guys. What's coming up in the next 30 days, or what's coming up in the next 2 weeks or something. And I understand that, you know, that's a way for you to tune into your spirit guides and angels, but it's really important for us to take the guidance, but allow them to guide us and to embrace the uncertainty. Because I've just read for a gentleman today, and he didn't know which direction he was going in. And I said, you know, moving forward, that there'll be a pathway that reveals itself, and you'll have this drive inside of you, and you'll have a direction that you want to go in. It will appear on your path. And this is the
It does.
manifestation. This is allowing for that guidance to come in.
That's like the story of meeting David and James. I just put it out there. I didn't even think about what I had done, and all of a sudden, these people appear in my life, and we're still friends.
Mhm.
Mm, eh, it just shows you. Heather and I were like, "Oh my god, you just comes. It just manifests right there."
And
It's
and
when
we're
you
not
let
just
it go. It's you cannot control anything about anything. You can just give up controlling anything in your life. It's a joke. It's just a joke. You have to be open to the possibilities and be
and
ready to receive.
and I
And
was gonna
Ken,
say that we're not only friends, we're very close friends. And and it wasn't like, I mean, and they were so giving in everything that they did.
angels, aren't they? Angels in disguise. Wouldn't you
And
Mhm.
call them earth angels?
Earth
I mean, who
angels,
does
yeah.
that? Who finds two retired women in a cafe and assists them without asking for anything in return? An earth
Nothing.
angel, that's who does. So
That they were definitely earth angels.
Kendra brings up a good point. She says, I feel like knowing too much can change things, and free will can affect our choices.
oh, definitely.
I agree.
But it's
You
there
know,
for us to use.
Yeah, because the free will, you get two choices, fear or love. It when you break it all down, the only two choices we have in life are fear and love. So you get to choose what kind of future you want by the choices that you make.
And I've
Very
always
true.
felt like yes, you have a plan when you came in because you made a contract for what you wanted to accomplish when you came. But how you did it, that's your free will.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to go this way and then maybe this way? Are you going
I
to take
took a lot of detours. I feel like I think my
poles
track
every
is like
year?
this: loop
Well,
de loop de loop de loop de loop.
eventually get wherever it is you decided you wanted to get, but it's your choice how you do whatever you do.
Yeah. What about you,
Mhm.
Jean?
Well, tell me. I
Free
actually,
will, about
I
free
was.
will,
Oh,
free will, and making choices, the right choices.
I think there are no wrong choices. I think as long as
That's
we're moving forward, we'll get a course correction coming in regardless.
me too.
And and when we look back at our choices in life, as we come to a point of wisdom in our lives, and we turn around and we look and we're like, like you can see it, you can understand, and you can see the path, and you can see where you were guided and how much you were saying no, no, no to the guidance. It's really important more than ever not to resist the guidance. If you're told something once or if you're told something twice, it's really important just to give it a go and allow it to occur. And it's really very magical way of living. And once you start listening and not not rejecting, but allowing that new idea to come through, it's amazing how much more you feel the guidance and the direction come through. It really does keep coming each and every day, and it's a very enchanting way of living life when you have all of these signs and synchronicities occur in your life.
And I do want to say they're not going to hit you over the head with those ideas. You need to be listening.
Yeah, sometimes it can be pretty subtle, for sure, for sure.
And they can be pretty scary too.
Yeah, they can be very scary.
But you just grin because you're like, oh, okay. Like they make a suggestion for you, or they give you a little guidance. You're like, what was that? That's not me. And then boom, 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 you get three more validations of that same thing. You're like,
Exactly.
okay, I got it, I got it, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I have to be hit over the head with a 2x4 before I get it. Then other times I'm right there. Come on in, Sassy. Sassy
But
just got home from the groomers.
aw,
She's
it,
looking for me.
it's it's not coincidence. It's not by accident. It really is. These signs and synchronicities are just the universe's way of helping to guide us. And I say the universe is just a general term. It's our guides and angels
Yeah.
and loved ones. So Kendra says, resistance creates a lot of difficult learning lessons. Although I think I signed up for some hard lessons for a
I'm with you,
reason,
Kendra.
right?
I'm with you, Kendra.
Me too.
We all signed up for some of the more difficult things to learn.
But
But
I'm hoping that at my age that most of those lessons are behind me, and the really hard ones are behind me, and it's more fun from this point forward, because it does most of the time seem easier. The older I get, the better I like my life. Does that make
because
sense?
we learn not to
Learn.
resist.
And even
So
when we're taking what we think were the wrong choices, making the wrong choices, like you said, there are no wrong choices. We're all here to bring experience back to source. And that's who and what we hear. We're here for the experience. So no matter whether it's good or bad, you're getting that experience to take home with you. And so there's no wrong choices. Some of them just make things more difficult.
There's always something to learn, whatever decision was made.
Mhm. I
it's
agree.
amazing.
I
We're
love
all
your
going to be.
I love your little memes, pictures that you show. That's fun. It feels like a game show.
Oh, okay.
I love it. It's like, okay,
Like,
what do you get out of this one?
well, I have another one,
Oh,
as you may have guessed. And this one is
Oh,
the
yeah.
4 agreements, and I haven't looked at this in quite a while, and I thought it was a good time to look at it one more time. And the 4 agreements, it's be impeccable with your words, speak with integrity, say only, I can't read it here if they read it here, say only what you mean. I mean, it's just so powerful. Avoid using a word to speak against yourself or gossip. And this is that negative self-talk that is just
Mhm.
so debilitating. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. I mean, and this is not just what we do, this is what we expect. And we sort of want to emulate what we want to see in the world. We want to
Yeah.
be what we want to see in the world. And it's really important for us to strive to achieve. And I don't know if you guys can see that out there. It's a little fuzzy as I make it bigger, but so these are the 4 agreements, and I can't say the gentleman's name. It's at the bottom. I'll show you.
Ruiz. I learned this during shamanic training.
Hmm.
And I was going to say, your husband David used to say all the time, making assumptions makes fools out of you and me.
Makes an ass out of you and
There
me.
you go, makes an ass out of you. And you're right. That's what he said.
Yep, Janet says she loves that book. Yep, it's something to think about. It's food for thought, and it's
Mhm.
consideration, and it's a different way of looking at things. And he says, don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. I mean, how powerful is that?
It really is powerful, and it's one of the hardest things to learn, or it has been for me, is not to let other people's opinion influence my opinions.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It's particularly around family and those that you love.
And
It's tough.
projection is running rampant lately, isn't it? I mean, it's a big old lesson that we're all learning, I
Yeah,
think.
for sure.
And then the next one is don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama.
True.
With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life.
And I think there was some research when you're talking about speaking clearly. When we actually talk to other people, they get inflections, they get how we're speaking. And I'm comparing that to texting, how somebody was saying texting, you don't really know what they're saying because you don't get any of that. And so many people will only text and not talk.
Right. Oh,
So
I
there is,
know.
I had the previous one. No, this don't make assumptions. Communication with others as clear as you can. I had some issues with a granddaughter this summer, and it was lack of communication. Once we talked, everything was fine, and we've talked more and more. It was just a lack of understanding and not talking things out.
yeah,
And
assumption.
I'm like, at this age, I can't believe I'm still learning these kinds of lessons. Like, hello, I should have this by now. And there's that
Mhm.
negative self-talk you don't want to do.
And and then the last one of the 4 agreements is always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret.
And I would like to add one more thing. Remember that hindsight is 2020. If you did something you don't like now, just remember you were doing the best you could at the
At
time,
that time.
knowing what you knew then. You know more now, so you can say, oh, that was stupid. No, it wasn't. You were doing the best you could.
Yeah.
No reason
What
to
you
fall.
don't know, you don't know. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Yeah, and give yourself grace. We all make mistakes. None of us are perfect, and it's going to change. It's never going to change. We're always going to be making mistakes, and we have to give ourselves grace because we're all learning.
Cut yourself some slack.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Self-critical.
Absolutely. Yep. And do the best you can. And that's all you can do, you know. And when we learn how to do something better, we do better, you know.
Mhm.
And it really helps to cultivate compassion and forgiveness and understanding with those around us. I mean, it doesn't mean that we have to be in the same room as other people around us. Doesn't mean that we have to like what they say. It's just that we have to understand that they're on their own journey and that they are in their own reality and their own lesson processes for their lesson and their you know I guess I guess their enlightenment, you know,
Mhm.
and different one. Each one of us will change our vibration and frequency and move through this evolution at a different rate. And I was saying this the other day about popcorn. It's like when a couple of popcorn pops, it's like one or two of us or three or four of us. And then all of a sudden, all the other popcorn starts popping frantically. And then
Yeah.
there's always those last stragglers. This is what I feel like this is a good example of some of society and how we're all going to be opening up and waking up for different
Popping
reasons.
at different times. Yeah, you're right. And you can only meet people where they are. They're only capable of what they're capable of, and you being weird about it's not going to change it. So
No, and
get
you
them where
cannot,
they are and
and
love
you
them for
cannot
who
be
they
less
are.
than yourself. You can understand where they are, but you cannot be less than yourself to join them. I mean,
Yeah.
you can make it that they understand what you're saying if that's what you want to do, but you cannot be less than who you really are. It's detrimental to you.
Exactly. Can you post Kendra's last one?
I used to be
Kendra, I
resentful.
think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to read it. I used to be resentful towards my parents, but I realize at my age now that they did the best with what they knew and resources that they had. Mhm.
I think this is such a huge lesson for people. My oldest sister was so resentful for my parents. I watched it kill her. I watched the resentment and the anger kill her. She died of cancer. And I remember thinking, this is what hate does. This is what anger, well, not really anger. She didn't hate them, but she was angry for many, many, many years. And I thought, this is what anger does to you. I don't want to be that person. But I learned at a much younger age, like you said, they only did the best they could. Even if you think they suck, they were only doing the best they could because there's not a parent out there that had you and wanted the worst for you. They
Exactly.
wanted to
And the other thing, when my kids were grown, and I was saying, "Oh, I wish I'd done this differently. I wish I'd done this differently." And then I got to thinking, if I had done those things differently and did them what I thought now was correctly, there would be other things that I messed up.
Of course there were.
So I just did the best I could at the time.
Exactly.
I love that when you say that, Heather. It's so important. Ginny says it's so hard to remember that you can only meet someone where they are, as well as what Heather said. And Diana says, this is a really good conversation. I'm cleaning around here. Just put the tree to bed and for another year. But oh, it is the Christmas tree. Wow, that you're
Hey,
you're
that's
adventurous there. But motivation to keep working comes in all shapes and colors. Oh, you're welcome. Wow. So, and similarly, what I think this kind of sums up exactly what I've been trying to convey tonight is when everything seems to be going wrong, it means that old energy is clearing out for new energy to enter. Be patient and trust that good things are coming. And I know that you guys all think I have rose-colored glasses on, and I do, but I'm I'm letting you know I'm hearing this and seeing this over and over
Me
and
too.
over again.
I
I
see
know
it in my life.
the hardest thing is to be patient and wait. Just know
was
that
my
things are
message in
getting
my
better. It takes much longer than we want it to, but
yeah.
we just need to be patient.
That was a big message yesterday during practice for all of us was patience. Patience.
And sharing
Oh,
stories and
wow.
being honest. Because look, Lauren says, my sister died for the same reason, Priscilla.
Yeah, it's
My
so
sister
sad to
hated
watch.
my mom and her entire life, died from a stroke at 60. Oh
Wow,
my
isn't it
gosh.
sad? But it's a damn good example for you if you take heed and learn the lesson from it because it sure was an eye opener for me. It was like, wow,
Mm.
I don't want to go there ever. And hello, you didn't know I was in here, did you? Sassy just got home from the groomer and she just found me. My daughter went to pick her up for me. But I lost my train of thought. Sorry, baby.
It is one of those cases you really want to learn through observation.
Yes, you don't want to experience it yourself. Not that I believe all cancer comes from anger and hate, but
No,
I could see it with her.
but
Maybe that was spirit.
it
Maybe,
doesn't help.
hey, lay down, baby. I'll feed you in a minute. Yeah, I
Hmm.
just think it's really sad to go there. And I'm so glad that's not my personality. I was worried about since I live alone, am I going to turn into that angry old crone? I don't want to be that angry old crow. But I'm not angry. I got rid of my anger a long time ago. And no, I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to be me,
Right.
joyful.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
me that we all are is just plain love.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
Let us be that way.
it's not spiritual bypassing. We're not saying don't ever be angry. Things are going to make us angry. We're
Oh,
just
hell
saying
yeah.
don't live there. Don't live there and don't carry it with you. It's important to express and to feel the feelings and to move through them and to express them and get them out and to
Mhm.
keep moving forward. Don't let it steal
Yeah.
your light. And that was that. I mean, those memes. I mean, it's so. you know we learn these lessons in cycles, right? In circular, in a cylinder kind of a way, not a cylinder,
Mhm.
what is that,
A
funnel kind of a
spiral.
way, spiral, yeah,
It's a
thank you.
spiral. And or the onion. We always like the onion. You peel one layer and you got another layer.
Yeah.
You think you're
Because
done, and there's another one.
There's always something that comes up. Acknowledge your anger, but then let it go.
Mhm.
You have a right to feel it. So acknowledge that you feel it, but don't keep it. Get
Yeah,
rid of
my
it.
sister let it consume her,
Yeah.
and that's just nuts. There's so much good out there. If you can
yeah,
just switch it to living in a little bit of gratitude, it changes your life forever. And
Kendra's next one is good too.
yeah, she said forgiveness is more for
yeah,
ourselves so we can move on and not let it consume us. Hmm.
Mhm.
true, because you're just letting those other people live in your head and make your life miserable when it's not, and they don't even know you're doing it more than likely. You know what I mean?
It-
They could care less. They're not thinking about it. You're the one that's consumed with it.
it's affecting your life, not theirs.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Good to
And Amanda
remember.
Carroll said that she did a ceremony as recommended by Priscilla, where I wrote to my mom's guides, 3 pages, burned it under the full moon, and buried it. It felt so good.
Oh, lovely.
That's called releasing it. Good job.
Good job.
Hmm.
I've been
Yep.
releasing stuff with bay leaves. I've been writing it down on bay leaves. I have a little fireplace, and when it's cold, I just start writing on the bay leaves. Sometimes it's intentions about what I want to manifest, and other times it's releasing stuff.
Hmm. And Janet says sometimes you have to let go of anger several times before it's really gone. I feel that too. And with a
It's a
lot of these
process.
lessons and a lot of these memes and a lot of these sayings and reminders and things, it depends on what situation you're in and what recently has hurt you or bothered you or taken
Traumatized.
stealing, yeah, put taken taken you off of your center, which when you remember these things, you're like, oh, that makes more sense now that I see it this way. Or
Mhm.
now that I've felt that, now it makes a lot more sense. I knew it in the context of my boss, but now I see it in the context of this, like
Mhm.
it means different. And I feel like when you let go of something over and over again, it's sort of like, oh, that was the anger from when I was mad back then. It's coming up again now. And,
Mhm.
and we just really evolve and move through, and it's all okay. It's all okay. And I think it's really important for us to support one another, especially, I mean, men and women, but especially women and today in this day and age, that where we can support one another and be there and you know, really champion each other and, collaboration instead of, competitiveness. I think Pink says that most beautiful women are the women who cheer on other women or something. She has one. I don't have it
I
with me.
agree with
Sorry.
that. I agree with that. It's so different than how I grew up where women were competition for your husband. Nowadays, oh I love my women friends. I couldn't live without my women friends. They're
Women
every
were competition for your husband.
That's how the '50s was. You went to college to meet a man to marry. That was
Exactly.
the whole point, and any other women it was subtle, it wasn't spoken, but that's basically what society was all about.
I mean,
That's
when
why
I
do
was
you make your debut? Why do you're being presented to society so you can
who's
catch
going to marry you, right?
Yeah, I
And that's
mean, it's sick,
I was going to
and
say that's why my
misogynist.
dad sent me to college. Not why I went to college, but why he said I could go to college. You got to go to college to meet guys. I'm going,
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
yeah, that's old thinking.
We're learning this again, the 5 stages of grief. Denial. I know I was in denial. Anger. I was sure mad. Bargaining. I think I was praying for the bargaining. Depression. Went through that. And acceptance. That's where I think I find myself. You know, it's really grief is in many different forms, and we may be, grieving this state of our what the illusion of what our society had, but we're all going to be going through and processing our own emotions and our own, you know, challenges in different ways. And it's just really important for all of us to support one another. And that's one of the things I love
Mhm.
most about you, Priscilla and Heather, and the offerings that you have on the Crone Zone channel, and its wisdom and information that we can all use, learn, and apply to our own lives. And it's beautifully researched and delivered, and then you engage the community and you have some fun. I love the vibe of your channel. I
Thank
love
you
the
so
the
much.
We do
communication.
too.
We like it too.
We've learned so much, have met so many fabulous women and
And
people in general, men too, not just
there's
men,
just not
women,
as many of them.
just not as many of them. But oh my God, to me, this community has become everything. I feel so blessed. And I learn from Heather and I learn as much from the information sometimes as the people watching, because there's subjects that are new to us or things that we're not all that familiar with.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We did,
we've done
we
shows
do.
on meditation, basic astrology, because neither one of us is an astrologer, the 12 universal laws. I mean, it goes anywhere from basic ABCs to probably mid-range spirituality concepts, and then some that are pretty much out there
And
that
sometimes we'll hear something said and said, we need to
we
address
need to
that.
do a show on that.
So
And then
it's written
Heather
down.
does these
I have a
wonderful.
I have a notepad that I just write down when something comes. Somebody mentions a couple words. Oh, right that.
Yeah, exactly. We ran out of subjects our first year. We went through everything that we thought we were gonna do over the year. I mean, I think we had 30 or 40 subjects. We
Yeah,
went out of those in the first 6 months, I think.
but do remember that our
Thank
first
you.
couple years, what we do on Tuesdays now, we did on Tuesdays and Saturdays, so that we did it. We were just constantly
Thank you, Strawberry
Very
Sharon.
busy.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you.
very
Please
much,
do go
Joey.
over and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to the Crone Zone. You won't be disappointed. It's a wealth of information, and go back and read through or filter through some of the other shows that they have on. And Debbie Kane, we love you right back, hon. We love you right back, and that's what this is all about, right?
What? Yeah.
And it's beautiful. You two also have special guests on that you interview, and you have people like Dr. Gill, and you have people like
Like you.
Allie Martin, and you have
Allie's
and
going to be on Saturday tomorrow
And
night.
then we do have where we have the Wisdom Circle with all of you great ladies, and that is a good show.
I love
it is
the-
very magical, isn't it?
It really is.
It's
That's with the three of us, Wisdom Seeker Joan, Terry Suzuki, and Terry Lee. And oh boy, those are so much fun. They're so interesting.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
many different
I
perspectives.
love our YouTube channel. I can't believe I ever got there, but I love it. And another thing I really love is Heather's remote viewing. She's remote viewed under the pyramids, Lake Titicaca, the Sphinx. Fascinating information that we're not ready for because we're in 3D, and most of the stuff that's involved in all those things are 5D or above.
Yeah.
So mankind's not really, they won't let her see some things.
Or they'll say, there's no way they're going to find this now, but we'll let you look. You
But
know,
she can time travel back to when those were built.
I didn't know that till I did Lake Titicaca, because I saw all these ruins. I'm going, okay, so everybody can see the ruins. I want to see what it looked like when it was a thriving town. Boom, there it was. So it was
really interesting.
fascinating for me. They're
wow,
very accommodating.
Wow. Well, thank you, ladies. I want to respect your time, and thank you very much for coming on. And I'm sorry for the mix-up in the beginning. It's just
It's just that
technology and
technology issues. So
human error.
that's just the way things go. It doesn't matter. We have it as much as anybody else. So
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to focus and be detail oriented, but
well,
thank you.
Especially with all the sun flares and the earthquakes and the tsunamis and volcanoes, all that energy that's going around just between Mother Earth and the sun is enough to put anybody off balance.
Yeah.
I know. I'm there.
Well, I just want to thank you each both again for coming, for being here, for sharing your wisdom, for playing along, for enjoying the conversation. Thank each and every one of you who are watching now in the chat, just listening, or what do they call it?
Lurking.
Lurking, yes, for lurking and for watching later. Thank you very much for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and any support that you do offer us. We really appreciate that. We can't do it without you. You guys are the ones who drive the channel. So any of the effort that you do make, we really do appreciate on both of our channels. And we just want to thank you and have a really wonderful weekend. Please do come back to the SunPsychic Jean channel and the Crone Zone channel. We're both having some exciting shows tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing you all back again tomorrow.
Thank you, Jean. Love being with you.
Yes.
Thank you, chat.
Bye, everybody.
Love to everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you enjoy this content, hit like, share, and subscribe. Remember to click the bell to be notified of future videos. Thanks again.